this documentary, Eric Rodriguez and myself will discuss the issue of abortion here in the city of San Antonio, Texas.
Well, we're still kind of a ways away.
We are on our way to Planned Parenthood currently, coming from Central Catholic.
As you can see, we are here at Planned Parenthood in San Antonio, Texas. This building is actually only a few minutes drive away from Central Catholic High School. And so here in my hand, I have many statistics about abortion in the world. The number of abortions that occur worldwide per year are approximately 42 million. That are basically 115,000 unborn children are killed every day. In the United States, 1.37 million abortions are performed every year. The most striking statistic could be the likelihood of a woman having an abortion. An estimated 43% of women will have at least one abortion by the time they are 45 years old.
Women choose to have an abortion because they don't feel that they're ready to accept the responsibilities of being a parent. Other times, they don't feel that their family or a boyfriend or some significant other would accept the fact that they're having a baby, so they choose to get rid of the baby instead of taking responsibility as a parent. Here we are about to interview the sophomore religion teacher, Mr. Kiesler, on his views and the Catholic Church's views on abortion. As Catholics, how should we feel about abortion?
As Catholics, well, you know, the Church is very clear in its teaching. We're supposed to look at human life as something sacred, the sanctity of it, and oftentimes it's difficult because we're supposed to see the image of God, the Imago Dei. We're created in the image and likeness of God. If all life is created in the image of God, to dispose of any type of life, for example, would be a direct disposal of God, and thus a total rejection of His love. So, as Catholics, you know, we're supposed to welcome all life and see it as a gift, and thus a miracle.
So do you believe that a woman has a right to choose?
I think that's the complication, is how you look at it. Do you look at it as a woman's choice, or do you look at it as a point of creation? Is this the work of God, or is this the work of the woman? If we are caught up in the woman's rights, then I think you could sit there and try to make a legit argument. However, since we are a faith community founded on pillars, you know, such as being one apostolic ministry, we look at it and say that it's a woman's blessing, a woman's gift to be able to produce life. A woman has a fertility cycle that is so small, and it's a miracle that any woman ever does get pregnant. That one little sperm finds one little egg, fertilization occurs, it makes its way down the fallopian tubes and then into the uterine lining of the wall, and then it grows and nourishes. I mean, it's a miracle in itself if you look at the statistics biologically. And to say it's a woman's choice, it's her body, is a selfish act. To look at it as this is a gift of God and I'm open to receiving what God does with me and that I'm an instrument for His making, I think is a higher way of living, transcending in some way.
So when our society accepts abortion, what kind of society do we get out of that?
I think JP2 says it the best. It's a culture of death. We find ourselves forfeiting life. So often, you know, they make it sounds corny in some ways, but very true. How many times do we abort the cure of cancer? You know, the next great medical doctor that might discover something new. But yet, because of our selfish reasons, we want no place in it. We don't want to take the challenge or the risk of bringing life into the world, thus the opportunities that come with that life.
So in our Catholic social teaching class, we learned about human dignity and why it's important. So how does abortion relate to human
Mr. G
dignity?
taught you about human dignity? So what do you want? What's the question there?
How does abortion relate to human dignity?
Human dignity is the, like I said, it goes back to Genesis, I think. We are all created in the image and likeness of God, the Imago Dei, famous saying. And if we truly believe that we each hold a representation and part of who God solely is, then we have to respect the dignity, whether it's capital punishment, whether it's abortion, whether it's, all forms of like torture. And we look at these situations and we say that any unjust action against a human life is an unjust action against the body of Christ, what Paul would say. So the community makes the body of Christ when the human life. And so we have the representation of the head of the body, would be God. And we are parts of the body. And so by discriminating at any point against one person, we discriminate against the body of Christ.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
As our educated opinion on the matter said, Mr. Kiesler, he said that having abortion very available to society creates a culture of death, in the words of Pope John Paul II. An increased availability in abortion and abortion-inducing drugs causes a society of laziness and irresponsibility.
Some famous Catholics have chosen to have an abortion. One is Dorothy Day. Although she had an abortion, she went on to become one of the most famous Catholics in the world. So this shows that there is still hope for those who choose to have an abortion, although it is an evil act.
Gonna put it to the test. You wanted it to be blessed, and in your heart you know it to be true. You know what you gotta do. They all depend on you, and you already know. Yeah, you already.
We hope you've enjoyed this documentary, as well as learned a thing or two about abortion here in San Antonio. Hopefully this documentary will help you to act in favor of the millions of unborn children that are being killed every year around the world.